I'm Rusty Brown, and this is Let's Celebrate. If you're still here after 1 year of silence, I'm really glad you are. I meant to take a 3-month break and was planning on coming back last Spring Equinox, but here I am coming back a year later than expected. I said I was going to tend a fire, and I really did that more metaphorically, I guess, than actually doing it. Because, well, first of all, last year it didn't get cold enough for me to really need to keep a fire. But also, throughout this whole year, I've had to kind of tend my own inner fire. Because when I started this podcast, it started as just a want to learn about holidays, truly, just wanting to understand why we celebrate them, how we came to celebrate them, like what the culture was, that kind of stuff. And then after my first season, then I really realized that we celebrate the seasons, and that's what the holidays are just celebrations for the changes of the season. And so that's where I went down the path of celebrating the Wheel of the Year holidays. But through that, I also realized that those holidays are also fairly new. I mean, they're built on ancient traditions, but they are a Wiccan calendar, which was created in the 70s. So just through all of that, I just really wanted to really connect to the earth, to the changes of the seasons, because as I was learning about these, I learned how to celebrate the seasons. And because of that, now I am transitioning this podcast from holiday origins to let's celebrate being human. And what I mean by that is being human is learning about ourselves, learning about how and why we react the way that we do, how we connect to other people, how we connect to the earth, how we connect to animals. It's our psychology, it's everything, Being human is everything for us, for you, for me. Um, and I think that when we learn how to connect to our own humanity, and then we learn how to connect to each other and connect to the earth and to the animals living on it, then we will have peace. And saying that out loud is like scary. And like, why is that scary? Because I mean, we're living in a world where things are scary right now, but why do I feel scared of like being a peacemaker and a peace bringer? I don't know. We'll have to unpack that sometime. But that's what I feel like this my goal is. Like, this has been something that I have really wanted to do. It is I didn't know how I was going to do it. Like, sitting down here right now, I didn't know how I was going to say all this. It's just flowing out of me, which is feels great. But yeah, it's just something that I have wanted to say but didn't have the words to say. And that was me tending my fire, was journaling about this, deciding like if I wanted to do this or not, because I also had a lot of I mean, not scary moments, but just like internally scary of like, do I want to put myself out there? What if people hate me? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I get canceled? What if this? What if that? What if blah, blah, blah? But this feels like something that I have to do. And so I'm doing it. Um, and again, thank you for being here. If you're new here, welcome. If you have been here through the first two seasons, if you've only been here through one season, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Um, I hope that this is something that resonates with you. So, yeah, let's celebrate being human. Let's celebrate being human. It feels good. It feels really good. So, with this new season, of course, we're going to have a celebration for each episode, as I have for the past two seasons. Unfortunately, today, the I guess not unfortunately, whatever. The human of me um, did not go to the grocery store or the liquor store to get bitters to make the drink that I had planned. So, my celebration for today is a mango white claw. And my mocktail for today is just a classic water. This is what do they call it? Not on the rocks? I don't know. It's just water. I just I thought about going to the store and making a big deal and trying to do this, but I feel like sticking with the theme and how the seasons are and what I'm going through in life right now, I didn't need to stress myself out and try to do something that felt overwhelming. So that's where we are, and that's fine. I think it's fine. So, why now? Why spring equinox? To me, this seems more like the beginning of the year. Like, this is where everything is truly starting to bloom. For me, the new year that we celebrate at the 1st of January is the time to plant the seeds, but it's not like the time to start the stuff. And that's exactly like going with this season. When I planted the seeds in January at in bulk, I started like really planning this. Like I looked back at what I had done, with the planting of the seeds, the planting of the seeds that I had done in early January. I just had thoughts, in January, but at in bulk or like the beginning of February was when I started like writing things down and trying to organize my thoughts. And then now here I am, almost. I have about a little more than 2 weeks at this point till when the spring equinox actually is. Now I feel ready. I mean, I'm here. I'm blooming like the flowers outside. If you haven't noticed, the flowers are blooming outside. And if you haven't noticed, you should go outside and look at the flowers blooming because they're beautiful. And they're just like you and me. Yeah, and January was like, January is always just deep winter, so it doesn't make sense that it's a time when we should start exerting a lot of energy. What I've been doing over the past few years is a winter is a going in time. I started this um, before I started doing the podcast. I learned about hygge. It's like a Danish um, word that's basically like cozy, but it's a little bit more than cozy. It's more like I think of it as like getting cozy, but like finding happiness in like things that aren't always so happy, but like finding the cozy moment. So it's like sitting by a window when it's cold and it might even still be cold inside. You've got a fire going, so you're like starting to warm up and you have your like warm cup of coffee or hot cocoa or something, and you like sit by the window and look outside, and you are watching the dreary weather, but you know that you're cozy inside. And I guess it's more than that too. I mean, people snuggle in blankets and light candles, and it's more of like a mood to me. Embracing that helped me learn to like winter time, because before I started embracing it, I had horrible seasonal depression where I only wanted it to be warm, and if it was cold, I was miserable. I just hated it. But learning to embrace the cold and finding those cozy little hygge moments made me really enjoy winter. And now I look forward to winter just as much as I did summer, because I know that I have those inside activities that I like to do. A hygge activity could be journaling or knitting, or I mean, just making the fire and tending to it is also a hygge activity. Baking cookies and, baked goods, just like cozy activities, coloring. Yeah, so now I look forward to those winter activities and embrace it. But that's the mode I'm in January. And I think that's the mode that we're supposed to be in, because, like, when you look at how we celebrate that time of year, it's a lot of being inside activities and eating a lot of food, like high calorie foods. Um, so it's kind of rude of society to tell us at the beginning of January that we need to like get in shape and start like exerting a lot of energy at a time when nature is calm and like basically dead and resting. So why can't we rest? And that is something that I am wanting to instill in this podcast, is knowing when to rest and when to go. So right now is the time to start doing whatever you have been maybe putting aside. This is the time for us to all start blooming and re-emerging, rebranding. I've seen a lot of people on my social media and like other podcasters that I listen to are like rebranding right now. And I think that is just people listening to their bodies and listening to nature and their instincts. And that's great. I hope more of us start doing that. So for me, I, like I kind of alluded to earlier, I mean, I have these grand ideas of like changing the world, but I'm also trying to look at this as a soft emergent. Emergence? Emergence. That sounds so much like emergency. Yeah, so I'm looking at this as more of a soft emergence rather than like explosion of ideas or whatever, because I know I'm only making one podcast and like one episode right now, and probably just like, once a month or something. So I'm not just going to like explode and turn in like to a life, world changing person. So I'm trying to look at this realistically and trying to, you know, hold myself down because of like having these grand ideas. That's also been kind of like why I haven't wanted to start this, because I'm like, I want to change the world right now, but I can't. I can't. But my intention right now is just for this to be a welcoming space for you, for us to connect. Let's be besties. I hope to build a community with this. I hope that I can find like minded people who also want to change the world by connecting communally to others and the earth. But just for right now, I'm glad that we're here together, and yeah, let's let's be buddies. With this new season, I am wanting to start a tradition of doing a short meditation during each episode so that we can ground in and connect to each other and, kind of do a reset, I think is so important, to us, to humans, to, you know, reset our nervous system, to reset the day. It's just a great practice for anybody to have. It's a good habit to create. So I'm gonna hook this up. Maybe if I put it on my necklace, just does not pick up very well. I'm gonna hook it to my shirt. So I hope that you can hear me okay. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. And if you feel like you're going to be distracted by this, then obviously skip ahead. But for anybody who's not doing any dangerous activities at the moment, let's close our eyes and drop in to our bodies. Now take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Inhale, 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 and exhale through your mouth. And again, inhale and exhale. One more time. Now we're going to bring awareness into our entire body. Feel your legs down to your toes, your arms down to your fingers, your whole body, your rib cage, your back, your shoulders, your neck, your head, all the way to the tippy top of your head. We're going to imagine that our entire body is a tiny seed that's just been planted in the ground. And we're going to feel water dripping down our head, down our shoulders, down our back, our chest, our tummies, our thighs, our shins, down to our toes. And then imagine roots growing out of your toes, out of your legs, out of your feet, down into the ground, deep, deep, deep down into the ground, until you get all the way to the center of the earth. Now we're going to imagine a white glowing light coming up through those roots, glowing into our body. It's going to go up our legs, up our thighs, up our torso, to our arms and our hands, up through our neck, into our head, our nose, our ears, and into the tippy top of our head. And then when it gets to the top of our head, imagine a tiny little bud sprouting out of the top of your head. It could be your favorite flower, your favorite plant. Imagine something beautiful and tiny sprouting from the top of your head. Breathe here. Feel it growing. Tiny little bit, little leaves growing maybe. Let the stem grow higher and higher and higher. Maybe imagine the little bud beginning to form, the more leaves beginning to sprout out. The little bud is starting to form into little bloom. starting to become a little flower. What color is it? Imagine what it feels like, how soft a tiny little flower bud feels. Now imagine it's growing more and more and more until it becomes a fully formed bud that's just about to blossom into a flower. Now, again, we're going to feel water being dropped down our flower like little glowing rays of sunshine, dripping, dripping, dripping down our flower, down its leaves, down the top of our head, and down our entire body. Now we're going to take a big inhale again. And on the exhale, push that air up into our flower and let it blossom into a big, beautiful flower. Maybe bring your head up a little bit higher. Feel yourself connected to the flower. You are the flower. You are that blossom. You are that beautiful. You are that fragile, but you are also that strong. Breathe in again. Exhale. Feel the connection between you and the flower. Feel it in your whole body. You are the seed. You are the root. You are the stem. You are the flower. You're everything. And you can be anything. Now let's come back into our bodies. Feel your body on the surface that you're sitting on. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. And move your tongue around in your mouth. And then when you're ready, we're going to open our eyes. Take a deep breath in. I hope that was helpful. I think that was a good reset, and it felt like it was what we needed. Definitely what I needed. So season 3 is no longer about holiday origins. This is more about the psychology of gathering. It's more about why, not just why we do it or how we do it, but doing it together. Because, the time of the year that we call the holidays, like from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we spend that time with family. The busiest time of the year because we're spending so much time with family, with friends, doing activities. There's just so much stuff going on at that time of the year because we're celebrating together. And that's what I mean by let's celebrate being human. Because why do we have to do it only at that time of the year? Why can't we celebrate the togetherness all year? And I think that, leaning into this and creating a community that's built on celebrating being human will help us build a better community, a better world for us, for the world, for the humans that are here who want to see good happen. I really hope this makes sense because this is like an idea that's been in my head for so long, and I have had trouble trying to figure out how to communicate it. So I really hope that I'm able to do that. Since this is the Spring Equinox inaugural episode, I want to leave you with a few examples of ways that we can all live more intentionally with this season. You've probably heard of spring cleaning, so that's like the really best way, I would say, of celebrating or connecting or just being more intentional at this time of the year. It could be cleaning a physical space, it could be cleaning your computer, it could be, just clearing one area off of your desk or something like that. It could even be releasing a habit or, you know, releasing a relationship, something like that, clearing out things that no longer serve you in this time of your life. This is also a good time to plant things. Like physically, you could start planting your seeds now, or you could also um, metaphorically start planting seeds as well so that they can be growing with the season. You could also start planting, gatherings or things like that you're wanting to create, communities that you're wanting to create, like what I'm doing right now. You can start. This is when I say plant seeds metaphorically, it really means start doing something, in case that wasn't clear. This is also a great time to start doing outdoor activities if you haven't already. I know when in the winter, I do not want to go outside unless I'm bundled. And yeah, I have not been going outside. I wanted to be a winter girly, and I wanted to be like one of those people that went on winter walks, and it just never happened. But now that it's starting to warm up, I've started to go out a lot more. And I recommend, if you've been inside most of the winter, I recommend you start going outside, go for a walk. You could also, you know, eat outdoors. I love eating al fresco, um, especially when it's like, 70, 75 degrees. It's just a great activity to do in springtime. And like when you're outside, like notice the birds and the sounds. Last night I was at a friend's house and she had her windows open, and we were like, is that the cicadas or is it frogs? Or, like we're like wondering what it was that we were hearing. And then somebody mentioned, oh, it's like really spring because that sound doesn't happen in the winter. It's silent. But now that it's warmed up, like all these animals and insects are coming back alive and singing about it. So, yeah, pay attention to that because that's how you connect to the earth and that's how you connect to the animals and the other living beings that we share this planet with. See what you hear, what you notice. This time is also a great time to start gathering, like share meals with people, invite a friend or a neighbor over. Not that your neighbor couldn't be your friend. Anyways, you, um, yeah, invite people over, do activities with other people, start a book club, or yeah, plan a weekend away with a group of friends if you can. I'm planning a spring equinox kind of like retreat weekend with a group of ladies. that I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, we're going to build a fire and have communal dinners and, just like slow um, gathering of like minded women, which I am, yeah, really looking forward to because I feel like that's in a stepping in a direction of like what I'm hoping to do with this podcast and like where I'm wanting to go in life. Because like with this podcast, I would really love to have a community where I get to plan weekends like that, like large groups of people. Like this is like my big dream big idea, I guess, and like what makes me like when I think about this podcast, it makes me excited, but it also makes me scared to think about like being able to do that, I guess. Like it's something I want to do, but I'm also afraid of doing it. I don't know. Why are we like that? I don't know. Anyways, this time of year, it's also important to spread kindness not only to others but also to yourself. Like do some kind of self-love ritual and like pamper yourself, put some eye cream on or something, but like do some self-care, put a hair mask on or like scrub your feet or something. um and show yourself some love. And then also show other people kindness as well. And that's something that I want to advocate for on this podcast as well is spreading kindness throughout your week. Like think of ways that you can spread kindness to others. Like leaving flowers anonymously or like one of the things that I like to do that I don't know, this may seem silly, I don't know. But like when I go to Aldi, I like to give somebody as I'm leaving my cart so they don't have to spend the 25 cents um, on a cart, because one time somebody did that to me and it like made me feel like, oh my gosh, that was so nice of them. And it was like, 25 cents. But yeah, the way it made me feel made me want like uh to do the same thing. So like as I left, I gave the cart to someone else. And so now every time I go to Aldi, that's something that I do to spread kindness to strangers. Yeah, also like picking up trash when you're out. Um when you see trash on the ground, like that's not just kindness to others, but it's kindness to the world, to the environment, which is like, just as important as being kind to yourself or to others. So if you spread some kind of kindness or do some kind of kindness practice or something, either like if you do it on the regular or if I have inspired you to do it this week, I'd love to hear like what you do or what you have done so that way I can implement some new things and then I could also share it with others on this podcast because really we all need some more inspiration of how to spread kindness because you can't get enough of kindness, especially with what we're going through in this world right now. We really need more people spreading kindness, like 100%. So I hope you've stuck around. I hope you're still here. And I'm going to go ahead and close this out because I feel like I have just been rambling on longer than I expected to. So, thank you for sticking around. And I want to go ahead and close out by saying a quote from John Denver. Yet, as different as we are, we're still the same. And yeah, it's just as true now as it was when he said it like years and years ago. um, yeah, we all live on this earth together. We all eat, we all gather, We all have families. We all have these, meat bodies. We all have the same beating heart. We all have brains. We all have, you know, thoughts. We have just, we have such similar experiences, all of us. Even though, the powers that be make us think that we're so different, we really are not that different. We all celebrate. We all come together, and we will always find a reason to celebrate. And I hope that we can all learn to celebrate together. Welcome to Let's Celebrate Being Human. I'm so glad that we're back. As we move from winter to the spring, remember that it's okay if you're tired still, because not every plant has begun to bloom. There are still so many plants that are underground waiting. And so it's okay if you're still needing a rest. It's totally fine. It's totally human. It's totally natural. So just breathe into that and listen to your own body. Don't listen to me. I mean, listen to some of the stuff I'm saying, but you don't have to push yourself if you don't feel like it's time yet. But if you do feel like it's time, then you should go for whatever your body and your mind and, whatever is telling you that you need to do it. You should go ahead and do it because you don't want to regret it. And I'm also telling that to myself too. So, yes. If you liked this podcast, please like and subscribe and do all the things that, um, surely after all these years, you probably know what would help a podcast grow. Just do all those things and leave me some comments. Tell me how you think this podcast is doing or whatever, just tell me some things. Tell me how you spread kindness. Did you like the meditation? Did you hate it? Did you find anything useful? Did I tell you anything new? Do you have any questions? Just, leave a comment. And I love you. Bye.